method.
The second generation Apple TV is a significant departure from Apple's first set-top box. It's about a third the size of the original Apple TV, under an inch tall, and weighs less than a pound. But along with that smaller footprint comes a cost. This iOS device is nowhere near as powerful or useful as its previous iteration. As you may have heard, the new Apple TV is primarily a video rental box. With it, you can rent new TV shows in HD for 99 cents or new HD movies for $5. Older high-def films in the iTunes catalog can be rented between $2 and $4, while standard definition movies are between $1 and $4, depending on when they were released. Once rented, you have 30 days to start watching the video, and about 48 hours of unlimited watching for TV shows and 24 hours for movies. This is on par with competitors like Amazon's video on demand service, though video quality is much better on Apple TV. Apple doesn't reveal the specs of its streaming video, but new movies have been pegged with a bitrate around 4 megabits per second. It's still far and away from Blu-ray quality, but videos are more than watchable at 720p. That's right, the Apple TV maxes out at 720p video over HDCP protected HDMI cable. No component this time around. Though 720p is the same limitation as first-generation Apple TV, savvy first-gen Apple TV users actually found a way to hack their box to play 1080p videos using a third-party mini PCI Express graphics card. But since all video processing in the new Apple TV is done on Apple's A4 chip, that's not going to be possible here. While obviously not everyone has a 1080p compatible TV, and streaming content looks great at 720p, it's nevertheless disappointing when you consider that plenty of Apple TV's competitors, like the Roku XDS and the Western Digital WD-TV, support full 1080p output. You can also forget about storing movies locally on this new Apple TV, which trades the previous version's 160GB hard drive for just 8GB of flash storage, just enough for temporary caching of streaming video. It's also equipped with 250 megabytes of shared system and video memory, which is plenty for processing streaming content. The only bottleneck I came across in my testing was, in fact, my own broadband connection. On my cable internet connection, high-def TV shows took about 5 minutes to buffer before playing, while movies took up to 15 minutes to buffer. Video playback was smoothest over a wired Ethernet connection, but movies streamed fine as well with 802.11n wireless, as long as I gave it adequate time to buffer. Video selection is the other big limitation of Apple TV's rental service. As of today, Apple TV only hosts TV shows from Fox, ABC Disney, and BBC America, far less than the selection of shows you can rent or buy on iTunes on a computer. That makes Apple TV an inadequate replacement for broadcast television, let alone basic cable TV. Worse yet, shows don't even appear on Apple TV until after they've aired on live TV, usually the day after, which isn't good enough for fans of Grey's Anatomy or Family Guy. Plus, all this content you can watch for free on Hulu if you don't mind the ads. The movie selection is much better, and that's the content I found myself watching most on Apple TV. New releases are timed with DVD and Blu-ray street dates, and it's much easier to impulsively click and rent a movie to watch than to drive over to the nearest Blockbuster and pick up a DVD or even wait for Netflix to mail a disc to my house. Speaking of Netflix, the new Apple TV supports Netflix instant streaming, and the implementation is one of the nicest I've used, once you've typed in the username and password with the Apple TV remote. Browsing through your instant queue or recommendations list is fast and intuitive, and the predictive search makes finding specific films using the on-screen keyboard a cinch. The only feature it lacks is a visual indicator of how far into a given video you've watched, which would be helpful when watching TV/DVD box sets over a long period of time. But as far as Netflix clients go, this is only second to the Xbox 360's Netflix integration. Additionally, Apple TV can stream video and music from a network computer via iTunes, assuming that your content is encoded with Apple-approved codecs like H.264 or MPEG-4, and indexed in iTunes, of course. 1080p videos actually stream fine to Apple TV, though down-converted them to 720p for output. No local hard drive playback is a serious bummer, too. The Apple TV has a micro USB port, but it's only supposed to be used for troubleshooting of the device. Fortunately for power users, the USB port may be a gateway for jailbreaking of the Apple TV in the future. Fingers crossed. One more feature worth noting is AirPlay, Apple's system for streaming content from any iOS device, like your iPhone or your iPad, to your television using the Apple TV. AirPlay isn't fully functional at the moment, only audio streaming from the iPad works, but could make the Apple TV more useful in the future. The potential to buy video content from any of your Apple devices and then funnel it to the central hub is pretty exciting. The most troubling issue I had with the Apple TV is a segregation between Apple TV's rental store on this device and the iTunes store on your computer. The fact that you can't rent a movie on your Apple TV and then watch it on your laptop just doesn't make sense, especially since streaming the other way works fine. Splitting up these marketplaces is sure to confuse users. I know it confused me for a little bit. I can't call the Apple TV a flat-out bad device because it works fairly well for what it's intended to do. The rental system is easy to navigate, rented videos play without a hitch, and Netflix streaming is top-notch. But besides those tasks, the Apple TV just doesn't do anything else. And that's why I consider it a downgrade from last generation's model, which was closer to a real HTPC. For better or worse, the new Apple TV has just no ambitions to be that at all. It's a rental store in a box that relies on a strong internet connection for an optimal viewing experience. And without offering more functionality, I can't recommend paying $100 for a device that just serves as a gateway to yet another paid service, especially when I know better alternatives exist out there. So for Tested, this is Norm. See you next time.